still the unheard, still the unheard of. I'm still waiting for you. Wide awake in an alien world where I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for you. Wide awake, but I'm still the unheard of. I'm still the unheard of. Ooh.
Well, hello tubers. Today we're gonna cook some meat, and we're gonna celebrate meat because it's Remembrance Day, or as you guys call it in the US, Veterans Day. And you may not realize it, but eating meat is a freedom thing that you should do. It's something to exert and be proud of your freedom. Because, as we all know, over the years, your freedom has been taken away slowly. Your right to smoke on an airplane, your right to speak your mind, because others don't want you to speak your mind, and your rights are being taken away. And of course, many people died for your right to have freedom. I think eating meat is one of the great freedoms that we still enjoy and that we need to fight to keep, because we all know part of the liberal agenda of some people is to take away your right to eat meat. So I think the most appropriate way to celebrate this freedom is to have a nice piece of meat and to barbecue it. So that's what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna put a little bit of olive oil on here. Now one little tip I need to tell you is that there's a lot of olive oil fraud going on, and you can do a little research online. There's a lot of companies diluting their olive oil with other cheaper oils in order to make bigger profits. And putting a little bit of olive oil on your meat is a great idea. Now, of course, you can season this whatever way you like. I was going to do the typical Canadian thing with some Montreal steak sauce. As we know, Montreal steak sauce isn't just available in Montreal, it's available across the world if you look for it. But I'm just going to do some salt and pepper. I don't believe all this bullshit about reducing sodium. My blood pressure is absolutely fine, and I use a fair bit of sodium. I'm not a fearmonger. I'm a freedom fighter for your rights, and I like talking about your rights that are being disintegrated every day. Hey, I see it on my own YouTube channel where the liberals attack me and they say, oh, let's report his channel, and they all report my channel because I'm speaking truth. Meanwhile, YouTube doesn't do anything about it because they realize truth is truth. Now, a few people do get their videos taken down for speaking truth, but so far it hasn't happened to me. So this is a beautiful piece of meat. Normally I'm eating Alberta beef, proud Canadian meat. This is actually Australian beef, because lately I've found some really good, cheap Australian beef. Hard to believe it can travel so far and be so good. But nothing wrong with that. Of course, there's some great American beef from Texas, California, available to all of you folks. And I hope you consider buying yourself a piece and supporting your local farmer who's working hard to provide you good quality protein sources. Because, hey, what's wrong with protein? Nothing wrong with protein as far as I'm concerned. So let's get started. Now I'm running the hibachi. I don't know if that's a Canadian word or not, but I didn't want to put it on the actual picnic table because it could actually burn it. But I think the temperature gradient is correct, so we're going to put that meat on there. And we're shooting for medium today. I don't really like to go too far into medium well, because I never ever get sick. So I always find medium is perfect as long as the meat is not dry. But that's just me. But I want you to cook your meat whatever way you want to, because it's all about freedom. Freedom to choose. You want to go rare, you want to go medium rare, or I guess they call it blue for the rare. Or if you want to go well done, that is all about your freedom to choose. And I'm here about your freedom to choose. Now, while that cooks, let's talk about sauces and freedom. And your dog. 3 things that you should actually think about when celebrating freedom of eating meat here on Veterans Day or Remembrance Day in Canada. First of all, before they take away your right to eat meat, or even enjoy meat in any form, think about the sauces. Yeah, when you're cooking some meat, it's all about the sauces with your steak. The best mid-grade barbecue sauce I've ever found in my life is the Kraft Original Barbecue Sauce. Are there some excellent premium sauces out there? Of course there are, and I love a lot of them. Put your comments down below on your favorite premium barbecue sauce, because I know there's a lot of great ones out there, and maybe I'm going to learn something from you and buy a bottle of something I haven't tried. But in the meantime, I'm just using the Barbecue Original Kraft, because I'm telling you folks, for an average cheap brand, this baby is good. Nothing wrong with saving a few bucks while you're enjoying a nice piece of steak. Next, we're going to talk about those vegans that are feeding their dog vegan diets. Hate to tell it to you folks that are vegans, your dog's not a vegan. It's a predator. It's got eyes on the front of its head like we do. Predators have eyes on the front of their heads so they can have stereoscopic vision to attack the prey, kill, and enjoy the meats. We are predators. We are also blessed to be able to eat all sorts of stuff, but we're not quite the scavenger that bears and dogs are. But dogs especially, they need the meats, and they love the meats. And when you're actually feeding your dog a vegan diet, your dog is not loving you as much as your dog could love you. So I want your dog to love you, so please consider feeding it meats, because that's what evolution has designed it to do. Now, let's talk about your freedoms and your right to preserve your freedoms. If any of you folks around or my age, 50-ish or older, you've seen your rights disintegrate. Your right to do all sorts of things in your neighborhood, things that you thought were your right to do with your house, things that were your basic right to talk and speak about, things that you thought were in your head. Well, guess what? Those rights are disintegrating and they're being taken away from you. So I think the best way to celebrate and to actually proclaim sovereignty over your ideas and your right to choose and your right to have ideas that are unique to yourself and your right to freedom, because people died for your rights in the First and Second War, and we're enjoying these rights here in North America. So let us not forget about those who died. You may actually notice that videos lately that have been made by Canadians and British and a few Americans don the poppy. Oh, what happened to my poppy? My poppy actually fell off my jacket here. Anywho, this is the poppy. They're sold everywhere outside of typically grocery stores and liquor stores, and Canadians religiously wear them as a remembrance, starting after the First World War, and the tradition has continued. Okay, let's do a flip. It's very peculiar how over the decades your right to think what you want to think, say what you want to say, camp where you want to camp, do what you want with your house or your home or your car has been heavily regulated or banned. What up with that? Do you think that's appropriate? Do you like that? If you really like that, you put your comments down below, and I believe in freedom of expression. If you think that liberalism and banning is good for everybody, you put your comments down below, because I'm not going to stand in your way for your right to express that you like banning and prohibiting and making things go away so they go your way. How many of these digital nomads out there really care unless they're making the monies off you? That's all they care about, the monies. Apparently banning free speech and rights and all these things are only okay if you can make some money off of it. Yeah, I'm speaking truth to power. I know it's wrong to speak truth to power, because if you do that, you get in trouble. It's like telling the emperor that he's got no clothes on. We still got YouTube, and there's still a little bit of free speech left here. So I'm exercising my free speech and my right to eat meats. And hopefully you are exercising your right to eat some meats for freedom here on Remembrance Day and Veterans Day. Please consider eating at least a small piece of meat for freedom today. Thank you. Now, I know many of you are thinking, why not just do 6-7 minutes aside? One flip, done, boom. Well, I like slow and low. I'm going a lot longer. That's why, if you notice, I didn't have as much briquettes. laid down on my barbecue because I want to go slow and low. You know, there's that big burn off after you start it with your zip or your lighter fluid. You let that burn down. You let the briquette start igniting. And I throw it on there. I put the timer on because I always want to know how many minutes she is cooking. Keep an eye on things, slow and low. That way I can pull it off at the exact second I like my meats. Because it's all about the freedom to be able to choose when you pull your meats off. Now let's be serious for a moment here. Meat is just an analogy to your rights and freedoms that are being taken away. All around North America, there are people with this globalist agenda or their liberal agenda or their vegan agenda that want to take away your right to eat meat. They want to implement that in the school lunch programs in the schools, which even that's a liberal program as it is, but I can tolerate that as long as you can serve some meat to the kids because they are developing and they're growing and they need as much efficient protein as they can get. And ain't nothing wrong with supporting farmers who grow quality beef products, pork products, chicken products around your neighborhood that you're going to eat, and you're going to support them in the economy, and you're going to have a delicious full belly enjoying that. And ain't nothing wrong with that, but they want to take away your right to choose, and I think it's wrong. Now YouTube may demonetize this video. I don't care, because it's all about your right to freedom, your right to choose, and your right to enjoy some really good quality beef wherever you are this Veterans Day weekend. So let's see how my freedom steak is coming along. I think it's nearly done, and I'm definitely going to enjoy that. And I'm going to share that with Sammy the Pooper, who definitely needs her meats as a dog. Well, the meats have been cooked, so I want to just remind you all to remember those who died for your rights and your freedoms. And perhaps you may enjoy a piece of meat during Veterans Day or Remembrance Day, as we call it here in Canada. So in the meantime, folks, stay safe, keep your wheels on the ground. I'll talk to you soon. Over and out.